In 2024, OpenAI made over $3 billion in revenue, and they still said it wasn't enough. That's the thing about building the most expensive technology in human history. The bills never stop. And right now, OpenAI is exploring something that would have seemed unthinkable just 2 years ago: putting ads inside ChatGPT. So let's talk about what's actually happening, why it matters, and what it means for everyone who uses AI every single day. To understand why OpenAI is even considering this, you have to understand the economics. Training large language models costs hundreds of millions of dollars. Running them costs even more. Every single time you type a message into ChatGPT and it responds, OpenAI spends money. Compute, electricity, servers, engineers. It adds up fast. In 2023, the company was reportedly losing around $700 million. In 2024, projections suggested losses could climb toward $5 billion. And while they have a subscription product, ChatGPT Plus at $20 a month, and enterprise deals worth serious money, the free tier has hundreds of millions of users who generate costs without generating revenue. That's the gap. And advertising might be how they fill it. In early 2025, OpenAI's Chief Financial Officer, Sarah Fryer, confirmed publicly that the company was actively exploring an ad-supported model. She didn't say it was happening tomorrow. But she didn't say it wasn't happening either. She said they were looking at it carefully, watching how others had done it, and thinking about what it would look like if they got it right. That phrase, "if they got it right," is doing a lot of work, because the history of tech companies introducing ads into beloved products is not exactly inspiring. Think about what happened to Twitter, or Instagram, or even Google search, which has become so cluttered with sponsored results that users now regularly add the word Reddit to their searches just to find something human. Every time a platform stitches ads into an experience people love, there's friction, there's resentment, there's the question of whether the product is still working for the user or working for someone else. And with AI, the stakes are higher. Because the thing people love about ChatGPT isn't entertainment or social connection. It's trust. People ask ChatGPT for medical information, financial decisions, career advice. If an answer is quietly shaped by a paying advertiser, that's not just annoying. That's potentially dangerous. So how would this actually work? That's where it gets interesting. The most obvious model is something like what Google does: sponsored answers or sponsored recommendations woven into responses. You ask ChatGPT to help you plan a trip, and somewhere in the response, a hotel brand appears. You ask for software recommendations, and a paid tool gets top billing. You ask about financial planning, and a brokerage slides in. That model is clean for the business. It's clean for the advertiser. But it's murky for the user. There's a second model that's a bit more honest, and OpenAI may actually lean this direction. Separating the ad layer completely from the answer layer. You get your answer first, clean and uninfluenced. Then, below it, something clearly labeled as sponsored. Less revenue per impression. Probably, but more defensible. The third possibility is the most creative. OpenAI already has something called the GPT Store, where developers build custom versions of ChatGPT for specific use cases. Brands could sponsor those custom GPTs. A cooking brand builds a recipe assistant. A fitness company builds a workout planner. The advertising is baked into the product itself, not injected into a neutral conversation. Users opt in by choosing the tool. That feels very different. Which path OpenAI chooses will tell us a lot about what kind of company they're becoming. Because here's the tension that's been building since the very beginning. OpenAI was founded as a non-profit with a mission to develop AI for the benefit of humanity. They've since become a capped profit company, then restructured again, with Sam Altman now set to receive equity worth potentially tens of billions of dollars. The non-profit idealism hasn't disappeared, but it's been stretched. Advertising isn't just a business decision. It's a philosophical one. It answers the question, who is this product ultimately built for? And the cynical read is easy. They need money, they have eyeballs, they'll run ads. The end. But the more generous read is worth sitting with too. Because free AI at this quality level is genuinely remarkable. And if advertising is what keeps it free for the people who can't afford a monthly subscription, the student in a developing country, the small business owner scraping by, the person who just needs help and can't pay $20, then maybe a carefully designed ad model isn't a betrayal. Maybe it's a trade-off worth making. Google search changed the world and it was ad-supported from almost the beginning. YouTube is ad-supported. Spotify has a free tier with ads. These aren't perfect products, but they gave billions of people access to things they otherwise couldn't have. The question isn't whether ads are evil. The question is whether OpenAI can implement them without corroding the thing that makes ChatGPT valuable, which is that it feels like it's on your side. The moment users start second-guessing answers, wondering if a recommendation is paid for, feeling like the AI is nudging them towards something, that trust breaks. And trust, once broken in AI, is very hard to rebuild. Because it's not just about the product. It's about the whole idea that these systems can be a reliable tool in your life. OpenAI knows this. Sarah Fryer's careful language wasn't accidental. They're watching. They're testing. They're trying to find the version of this that doesn't blow up in their faces. The timeline isn't confirmed, but multiple reports from early 2025 suggest ad features could appear in some form before the end of the year. So what's the takeaway for you watching this right now? If you're a user, pay attention to how answers start to feel. The first sign that something has shifted won't be a banner ad. It'll be a subtle change in how recommendations are phrased. A brand name that keeps appearing. A suggestion that feels just slightly off. That's when you'll know the balance has tipped. If you're a business, there's an opportunity here. AI advertising. If OpenAI builds it the way Facebook built its early ad platform, will reward people who move early. Understanding how to position your product inside an AI conversation, not just in a search result, but in an actual dialogue, is a completely new skill set. The businesses that figure it out first will have a real edge. And if you're just someone who's fascinated by where all this is heading, remember this moment. We're watching one of the most important companies in the world decide what it wants to be. Not in a press release, not in a mission statement, but in a quiet business decision about whether the AI you trust will start whispering someone else's agenda. How OpenAI answers that question will shape the next decade of how we all use these tools. If you found this valuable, subscribe to Vector Tech AI. We break down a new AI business story every week.